Hello, welcome to today's quick video regarding the parachain auctions and their future. What is coming up? Because as you know, Kusama is not getting any love. Polkadot is not getting that much love either. There have been some recently on Polkadot which were pretty good, like for example the Ajuna one, which had won the recent parachain auction 31 to be exact. As you can see, just before that there was another project here announced called AcuraCast. So I mean, parachains.info is a good website to get this kind of info, and this is why I personally use it. As you can see, there are 183 projects so far, but what you can do here is, because a lot of times is like we know that there will be more parachains, but they could take time to build. But then the question is, how do you filter out what's coming up before it's coming up, right? So aside from the announced one, which is, could take a very long time, because when you announce something, it doesn't mean you've started development yet. It means you've got the idea, maybe you've started development, maybe you're planning to become a parachain, but it's really the testing one that I'm more interested in, because the testing phase always comes just before the auction. As you can see, that means they are testing on Rococo. So this is what I filter by here on parachains.info when I go to the status. And then of course I can scan through this list, and I actually found one interesting one, because as you can see, this is the full list here. There's one called Diora Network, which I haven't looked at, but I am going to look into it. As you can see, we can see the tabs here: DeFi, NFT, Metaverse. So that means more competition for Kusamaverse and for BitCountry. There's also frequency, privacy, data, identity, which might be a competitor to Kilt and perhaps to Fala Network and to Manta. Who knows, right? Another gaming one called Gafi Network. So we're going to take a look at some of these in the coming days, because it does make sense to dig into them and see which could be the next gem, right? At the end of the day, that's what we have to look for. But there's one that I found interesting here, and that's Turn, smart contracts. Okay, smart contracts, they are testing right now on Rococo. And if you look here, it even shows as if there was a Web3 Foundation grant given to them. And as you can see, 2 of them were received and 2 of them were completed. If we go further up here, you could see in some of them, like 3 were received and 3 were completed. For example, Subda, which we've heard about before. But I mean, seeing this gives you more confidence, right? And here you could see their GitHub, you could see their activity, how many releases did they have, how many contributors did they have. I mean, you can see the first commit here was in 2020 in May, and the last commit was on the 15th of November. This year, so that was yesterday, right? 8 releases, 12 contributors. You don't even need to open this up if you don't know development. You just look at this and you see the activity, right? Of course, you should open it up ideally, because you want to check to see what kind of development they've done, if you have some knowledge, right? And it's not just some bump in the metadata, for example, because as you know, when you go to the Polkadot web wallet, you always have to update that metadata, and sometimes these teams are just bumping the version of the metadata to make it look like they've done some kind of activity, or that there's some activity on GitHub, when in reality they haven't done anything, but they've just bumped the version. But I'm not saying this is the case for Turn. I'm just saying just be careful with that, because I have seen that in the past. So I mean, looking at Turn, because I just wanted to have a quick look, it's a smart contract hosting platform that offers an innovative solution to interoperable smart contract execution with fail-safe mechanisms. Built in meaningful, successful multi-chain execution can always be guaranteed. Smart contracts stored in a Turn registry can be used by anyone, while the developers that contribute smart contracts to the open source repository can choose to get remunerated anytime their code is executed. And this offers a new vision of open source development, one that fairly rewards developers. Okay, so that's something here that you could see. You can also follow them on Twitter. You can join their Telegram if you want. But I mean, looking on Twitter here, I could see that a lot of people that I know are following these guys. So obviously like 29 people that I know are following them, and I've decided to follow them too, just to see what they're up to, and what have they done. I could see there was some activity there recently, because if you look at Twitter here, you could see that they've been holding some AMAs. So yeah, it's my first time actually hearing about these guys, but it just shows you like parachains.info is a great source for this kind of information, And one other thing that caught my eye here is, if you look at the investors, you could see Polychain Capital, you could see Blockchain Huobi as well, which is not too great right now, because I've heard that Justin Sun bought these guys, and I don't know if they've announced it yet, if it's publicly announced. I think that is just people, spilling the information, and it got out. So I'm assuming they're going to publicly announce it soon. D1 Ventures, which we know, these guys invest a lot in Polkadot projects, like Tamara Frankel, she's behind D1 Ventures. She's also part of Polka House, in case you didn't know. And then looking at the collaborators, the Web3 Foundation, Substrate Builders Program, Subsquid, which we are familiar with, Akala, and also Astar, which are the two popular projects on Polkadot. And so this is what you should take a look at, right, when you're evaluating projects. Like, see who the backers are, see who their partners are, see what the current status is, and of course the tokenomics, which are critical. But this is a great source for tracking down new projects. And like I said, this is going to take time, right? I'm not saying I'm going to be able to cover this very, very soon, but my plan is to go through this and to try to scan as many as possible and to cover them if I see some interest in them, of course, and to share them with you. So in today's one, I just wanted to quickly talk about Turn and show you what they're doing. Just a quick summary. That's been it from today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.